Let's go. Let's go. We here. We're live in living color on another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. Oh, come on, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Rise and shine. Rise and shine this morning. Yes, indeed. Yes. Top of the morning. Good morning to each and every last one of you. I know that you're just rolling in slowly but surely. Won't hold you too long this morning. It is still holiday weekend, Independence Day here in America. Just want to talk a little boxing this morning. I welcome each and every last one of you joining me live all across the world. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with me. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it very, very much. Salute to everyone in the chat. I welcome you to all of the Roll the Tape film crew members. I gotta explain what that is or who the Roll the Tape film crew members are. Because I say it very frequently, and most people who are new to the channel, new to joining the chat, new to joining the podcast, they may not know exactly who the Roll the Tape film crew membership is. So when I say the Roll the Tape film crew members, I'm specifically referring to each and every subscriber of this channel. I'm also referring to uh, everyone who participates in the chat who enjoy the content. So you're a part of the crew membership as well. And if you've joined this channel, you are also a part of the crew membership, the film crew membership. And so I welcome each and every last one of you. We're about to do our Town Watch check-in in just a few minutes. But before we do all of that, I want to say that yesterday's podcast, the show that we did yesterday on our podcast, phenomenal. It was phenomenal. The chat was engaging exceptionally well. I want to give flowers and give credit to where it is due. You all in the chat do a wonderful job. I mean, even if you're not a subscriber to the channel, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't agree with what I say, it doesn't matter. Even if you do agree with what I say, none of that matters. What matters is that we're having human interaction while we're talking about the sport of boxing. And I love when the chat is engaging. And I just wanted to say, you all helped the show go very smooth, not just for me, but for the live audience. You know what I mean? It's amazing how you all engage in the chat. I love it. It's awesome. And speaking of live viewership, I also want to welcome each and every last one of you who did not get the opportunity to join us live on this broadcast today, but you are watching the replay of this live. I welcome you as well. There are some people here, and if they're not here now, they will be joining in shortly. There are some people here that I call Terrence Bud Crawford fans. And I only designate that title for them because they themselves call themselves, they refer to themselves as Terrence Bud Crawford fans. And of course, Terrence Bud Crawford, not all of Terrence, but not all, but some of Terrence Bud Crawford fans don't particularly agree with some of the things that I have said about Terrence Crawford on this channel. But I do respect the Terrence Ball Crawford fans who join the panel, who engage in the chat, and who have no problem with providing the audience with their perspective, not just about the sport of boxing, but just Terrence Crawford in general. And they click the link and they come right on and they speak their piece. I respect each and every last one of the guests that have come onto this panel, whether we agreed or whether we disagreed. And so, with that being said, I always have to clarify this so that we all can be on the same page, and especially for the new audience. There is a segment that I designate for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. It's called Nip It in the Bud. If you're just joining us live for the first time, you may not understand exactly what Nip It in the Bud is, but it's just a segment that I designate for Terrence Bud Crawford fans to have the opportunity to click the link to join the broadcast live, to be able to come and provide the perspective to the live audience on whatever the topic is related to Terrence Crawford, and or if that particular fan of Crawford want to ask me a question and or make a comment directly to me. So I'm basically providing a platform for all of us to be entertained and educated all at the same time. At this point, as of today, there are a total of 13 episodes that I have condensed into a playlist. So you may have missed them. The last episode was from, I believe, we did, we actually did about one or two episodes just yesterday on this podcast. I did not publish them yet. However, look out for them. When you go on my channel, they're all in numerical order. So when you go on the channel, don't do it now because I want you all to be here with me live right now. But whenever you get an opportunity to, you can go on the homepage of my channel, click on the word playlist, and you will see the title of the playlist is called Nip It in the Bud. And each and every last episode that I condensed and published is there from episode 1 to episode number 13. And it is full of entertainment and education, and everybody loves it. Everybody, even Terrence Ball Crawford fans love it. We all love it. It's great. And in fact, to my understanding, I think I am the only content creator on the YouTube boxing community that have designated a segment with the thumbnail, with the playlist for Terrence Ball Crawford fans. And the reason why I started that, just to give you the origin of it, was because, and is because, some, not all, but some of Terrence Ball Crawford fans over the past 7 months that I've been a content creator have said some very highly distasteful things about me in response to some videos that I've published, whether it be live and or just published content about Terrence Ball Crawford and how he should conduct himself as a professional businessman, as an entrepreneur, as an independent contractor in the business of boxing. And so whether you agreed or disagreed with my recommendations, Terrence Ball Crawford has accomplished those goals by following the recommendations of mine. I'm not saying he listened to me and just went and reacted to it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the principles that I was applying and the content about Terrence Ball Crawford is producing all of us as boxing fans with the biggest fight of the year. Probably the biggest fight in the welterweight division, I want to say in the last decade or two, between Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. And with that being said, now that I got all that out the way, I want to, because the new audiences is checking in with us through viewership. So I want to welcome you. If you're new to the audience, come on in. Come on in. We're about to do our Town Watch check-in. I welcome each and every last one of you. Happy Sunday to each and every last one of you in the chat. I see you. Salute to each and every last one of you in the chat. We're going to have a good show today. I am not going to hold you all long. I promise that. Let's do our Town Watch check-in. I'm so excited that you are here joining me this morning, and I appreciate your viewership and your time. If you're just joining us and you don't know anything or haven't heard anything about Town Watch check-in, let me explain to you all what that is if you don't know. What we do every broadcast on this podcast and on this channel is what I like to call Town Watch check-in. Now, what Town Watch check-in means is this. It means that everyone, it does not matter what your geographical location is that you represent. It does not matter what orientation you represent. Doesn't matter what your preference is. Does not matter what your walk of life is, your background is, your religious beliefs. None of that matters. Everyone is inclusive on this channel. Doesn't matter what your gender is. Everyone is inclusive on this channel. So the Town Watch check-in provides each and every last one of us an opportunity to acknowledge that no matter what differences we may have, or whether you agree or disagree with me or anything else that's published on my channel, we share one thing in common, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. And so with that being said, our Town Watch check-in is very simple. I usually start it off, which I'm going to do in a few seconds, and then everyone else in the chat will engage and follow by inserting your location. It could be wherever you want to represent. It could be where you were born and raised at, and or if you want to talk about or basically mention, not talk about, but mention where you are now. Okay? Could be city, state, island, and or country. So I'm going to start it off. And then what I'm going to do is once I see that you have inserted it in the chat, I am going to publicly acknowledge it. If you're watching the replay of this live, you can also participate. All you have to do in the comments section is insert your geographical location, where you were born and raised, or where you're from. And if I see it in the comment section, I am going to acknowledge you. Fair enough? Good. I'm going to start it off. Y'all know I'm representing the DFW. Absolutely. The state of Texas, to be exact, Arlington, Texas. Some of you don't even know who my favorite football team is of the NFL. Most of you probably would know, but I will give you just a small hint. The residence is literally 15 to 20 minutes away from AT&T Stadium. So I love Texas. I'm representing Arlington, Texas. If you want me to go even further than that, I'm representing the Mansfield section of Arlington, Tarrant County, but I am also representing my hometown of the great city of Philadelphia. Yep. Not in Mississippi, though, because there is a Philadelphia in the state of Mississippi. No, not in Mississippi, but in the state of Pennsylvania. We call it Philly. So Philly is in the house. I started it off. Where you from? I'm going to publicly acknowledge it. Come on, y'all. Let's check on in. I see somebody all the way representing the UK. The UK is in the building. I see you. London is here with us in the building. The Queen City is here. Hold on, y'all. Y'all hear that wind blowing? Y'all probably don't hear that wind blowing. If you don't hear it, it's because you don't feel it. I feel it, and I hear it. Want to know why? Because somebody in the chat told me they representing the windy city of Chicago. I see you. Who else we got in here? Georgia is in the house. Come on, y'all. Let's check on in. We got to start this thing off right. Let's check on in. Pensacola, Florida is in the building. I see you. Come on in. Check on in. San Antonio is in the house with us this morning. Cleveland in the state of Ohio is here with us today. Who else we got? Let's check on in. Raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Is Brooklyn in the house? Without a doubt. Raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn is here. Currently resides in New Jersey by way of Jamaica. Yes, I see you here with us. Yes, I see you. I see you, New Money. Brooklyn is here. I see you. Come on in. Check on in. Tappahannock is here. Never heard of it, but where's from? Bernard Gilbert. Where you from? What state is that? What state is that? I want to represent it properly right now. What state is that? And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is that Tappahannock? Carlo, Ireland. The country of Ireland is here with us. Greetings from the Poconos is in the house. Dang, I ain't been to Poconos in a minute. I gotta go make a trip back to the Poconos. Charleston, South Carolina is in the building. Who else we got in here? Okay, I see you, Bernard, in the state of Virginia. VA in the house. I got family in Suffolk, Virginia. Who else we got in here? Woo! Listen, we're not gonna just talk about the East Coast. West Coast is here with us. Long Beach, California, in the building with us. Come on, y'all, let's check on in. As the viewership is increasing exponentially. Come on, y'all, let's check on in. Woo! I love our town-wise check-ins. Our town-wise check-ins be on fire. It be lit. Come on, y'all, let's check on in. Let's check on in. East Coast, West Coast. I need somebody from down south. Well, he said Florida. That's down south. Midwest in here somewhere? We did say Chicago. I know somebody else is in here. I know we got somebody else in here. Alexandria, Virginia is in the building. Come on, Detroit, BC. Where you from? Oh, I know that's right, Detroit, BC. I knew you was going to tell me. Detroit in the building by way of Arizona. Yes, indeed. I see you. Come on, y'all. Let's check on in. Want to make sure I got everybody. Come on, y'all. It's still more room. We got a lot more room on this bus. We got a lot more room. We got a bus and a train. We got a lot. Listen, we got a bus and a train. I went from a bus to a train. Y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. The people that know me know what I'm talking about. We got more room on this bus and this train. Come on, let's check on in. Yeah, we just getting started. Come on, y'all. Let's check in. Who else we got in here? Woo! Honolulu, Hawaii is in the building. Woo! I know that's right. Baltimore in the building. Listen, I told y'all I'm from Philly, and I told y'all what state I represent. But I see somebody else representing the state of Pennsylvania, not in Philly, but in the city of Pittsburgh. I see you, Pittsburgh in the building. Checking in from Charlotte, North Carolina. I see you in the building. Come on, let's check on in. We got time now. We got time. I'm sure there's a few more that just want to jump on this bus and jump on this train so we can get to our destination. Let's check on in. I know we got one more. I listen, I have this uncanny ability to feel when somebody just want to check in. I know we got one more. I know we do. We got one more. I know we got one more. I know it. I know we got one more. Didn't I tell you what I just tell y'all? Didn't I tell y'all we had one more? Hampton, Virginia is in the building. Good morning, Felicia. Yes. And speaking of Felicia, let me salute and acknowledge all the ladies. Y'all know I have fellas, don't hold on, fellas. Don't be hating. Don't hate. Step aside, fellas. This ain't for y'all. Hold on for a minute. I gotta stop my show. Y'all know how I am when it comes to respect for the ladies. I want to acknowledge each and every last woman that's viewing live and live in color right now, and the women that are watching the replay of this live. And if you are engaging in the chat, I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, ladies, salute to you. I welcome and appreciate your support, your contribution, and your viewership to this channel. I really appreciate it. Y'all know men can't do certain things without y'all, so I got to make sure I acknowledge and humbly respect all of the ladies. And speaking of that, we got Rochester, New York in the building. I did a lot of business in Rochester. I know a lot of people up in Rochester. Hey, speaking of Rochester, American Eye from Rochester, New York. When I first was there on business in Rochester, the people of Rochester, New York, were telling me about this thing called boss sauce. American Eye, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. That boss sauce is really, really good. I'm telling you, I love that boss sauce, especially on my chicken. I love that boss sauce. They definitely put me on when I was in Rochester, New York for some time doing some business. Chapel Hill, North Carolina is in the building. Who else we got in here? Let's check on in. I got one more. One more. I know we got one more. I know we got one more. And then we're going to move right along. I know we got one more. Can I get one more? See, look at the chat, y'all. American Eye said, yes, sir. See that? American Eye know that boss sauce is good. Woo! I spent a lot of time in Rochester, New York. Met some good people in Rochester and made some good money too. Hope, Arkansas is in the building with us. Silver Spring, Maryland, in the house with us this morning. Man, we got everybody is here with us this morning. This is the type of check-in I love. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, now we got to move on. Did any of y'all see that fight last night with Martin and Big Baby Jared Anderson? Any of y'all? Did anybody see that fight last night? Good morning to everyone in the chat that's wishing me a good morning. Good morning to you also. Did anybody see that fight last night? Let me say this before we close out on our Town Watch check-in. Anywhere throughout the duration of this live broadcast, if you're just joining us now and you want to still insert and represent where you're from or where you're located now in the Town Watch check-in, even though it's officially over and we're moving on, you can always insert it in the chat. It don't matter if we're in the middle of the broadcast or even towards the end. It don't matter. You still have an opportunity to do it throughout the live broadcast. I still will publicly acknowledge your geographical location. So that's what I want. I want us to engage on that fight last night. I would love to hear, or rather your see, because I'm looking at your your comments, what your assessment is of what took place last night, Jared Anderson and Mr. Martin. We've seen Mr. Martin in several different fights. Um, Southpaw, of course. Um, what say you? Let's engage in the chat. Let's talk about that for a minute. Somebody said Big Baby was saved by the bell. I definitely agree with that. Somebody said that Big Baby got tested for real. Definitely agree with that. Someone else said in the chat, Big Baby almost got knocked out. I totally agree with that as well. Somebody said they saw the highlights. So so based on the highlights that you saw, if you didn't watch the entire fight and you saw some of the highlights, this question is still, posed to you as well. What was your assessment, even with the highlights that you saw? I mean, what do y'all think? Let's engage on that because, Big Baby Jared Miller, he's a young heavyweight, and he's in a division that's wide open right now. I mean, when I say it's wide open, I mean it's wide open. He can take over, in the next couple of years. This could be his actual division. Someone in the chat said his defense is not good. Somebody else said that they watched the whole fight and he definitely needs improvement. Yeah, somebody else said that they think Martin took it easy on him. This is the feedback that we're getting live in living color in the chat. And I mean, I Big Baby, when I say Big Baby, I'm talking about Jared Anderson. Because there's another Big Baby, right? I think that's Jared Miller. I think his name is Jared too. Not Big Baby Miller from New York, not him. I'm talking about Big Baby Jared Anderson. Um, he, he is definitely offensive minded though. Like every fight, you can tell he go in there and he's going straight for the knockout. I mean, you can tell by his body language, you can tell by his posture, you can tell how he advances opposition uh, round by round. You can tell by some of the techniques that he used and some of the techniques that he do not use, uh, particularly defensively speaking. Um, he tried to go for the knockout. Yeah, I'm talking about Big Baby, who was accused of, somebody said, cheating Big Baby. Yeah, he got popped for PED use, not just once, uh, not just twice, but I think about 3 times. That's Big Baby Miller. So we're not talking about him. I said the words Big Baby, and I don't want nobody to think that I'm referring to Big Baby Miller. I'm talking about Big Baby Jared Anderson, who fought last night. And so let me ask the chat this question: are you saying collectively that Big Baby Miller doesn't have a chin, or he just got caught with a big punch? Because that can happen too. You can have a heck of a chin, but just get caught with a good punch. So is it that Big Baby Jared Anderson don't have a chin, meaning that he doesn't have the good ability to, um, you know, resist punches or not get hurt when he gets clipped? He don't have a good chin, or he has a good chin. The question is, does he have a good chin, or did he just get caught with a big shot? Somebody said in the chat that he just got caught. He just got caught with a good shot. Somebody says stay away from everybody. Oh, okay. So, okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I see the engagement. Let's engage in it. Scotty Dippin, what's up, Scotty? Let's engage in the chat. Oh, it ain't no question about that. Salute King. I don't want to. Every time I see King Asia Math in the chat, I know that he told me that his name isn't Asia. I got it. So I don't want to call you King Asia Math, and I know that's not your name, and you told me that's not your name. So I'll just say King. I'm referring to King Asia Math. That's the name of the channel he's using. But King, I'm talking to you. Salute to you. I see you. I'm gonna tell you like this, man, and ladies. He's definitely got to work on being more defensive minded. Because sometimes good defense can be a part of your offense as a fighter. But because he's so offensively minded, it's difficult for him to use technical and tactical defensive skills, because we don't know if he really has them, because he really hasn't had to display them often enough. Because once he get in the ring, he just, you already know, Jared Anderson get these guys out of here. Now, of course, I do understand that it's all about the level of competition. So let me give you the business side of this part, because I see people in the chat referring to Martin. Of course, Charles Martin is not a top 30 heavyweight, um, and he's not really ready. He, meaning Eric Anderson, is not really ready for world championship contention. Let me give it to you this way. Jared Anderson has a really, really good, reputable, shrewd businessman representing him, and I'm referring to music mogul and boxing manager Jay Prince, representing Houston, Texas. Most of you know who James Prince is. So Jay Prince understands the business. So this is basically typical of a fighter, young, up and coming, competing against someone on Charles Martin's level. It's very typical. This is standard in boxing. So Big Baby Jared Anderson should not be criticized. This is good business. This is how it works. And I've been saying this on my channel for a while now with regards to building up fighters in such a strategic way to get them to world championship contention level. And so the more fights that professional fights have on a certain level, the level of competition will increase. So in Big Baby's defense, this is good. This was a good stepping stone for him as far as like fighting a southpaw, um, fighting Charles Martin, who's experienced. Charles Martin been in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Now, granted, he didn't last for more than like 3 or 4 rounds, but my point is he has experience. He's been in there with other heavier punchers, Charles Martin. So this fight was a barometer to see what Big Baby's power is really like, because you think about it, he's still young. But if he couldn't knock Charles Martin out like he's used to knocking everybody else out in his previous opponents, then now management has to strategically evaluate the next fight so that he Anderson won't get knocked out. And let me also notate this, that Jay Prince, some of you may know this already, but Jay Prince also manages Shakur Stevenson. All right. Don't forget that Charles Martin, he was a champion. He did have a belt. So he's a former world champion. So it's not like they just picked Charles Martin up, you know, off of the street as an Uber driver or as a bus operator, or, your local chef at the pizza store. No, Charles Martin has experience, good amateur, and he's a former world champion. So this is typical of management. I'm talking about business now, of trying to go to the next level when moving a fighter. In other words, we've seen Big Baby fight a lot of, somebody in the chat said it, so I'm gonna use the term tomato cans. Um, so this is like step two, level two. Yeah, yeah, he got 2 more levels to go, but I'm just saying this is the second level. You fight the tomato cans first. I hate saying that because I have respect for fighters, but y'all know what I'm saying though, right? For lack of better terms. So you say like tomato cans, boom, and then Level 2 is veterans, former world champions, fighters who are kind of like past their prime. That's level 2 now. But before Big Baby Jared Anderson get to level 3, he has more improvement. Because you don't want to get to level 3, and then once you get to level 3, you lose, particularly in dramatic fashion, like he could have lost last night if that bell wouldn't have rung. And if I think Charles Martin could have went a little bit harder too, in my personal opinion. But he might have been gassed out. He might have been tired. You know what I mean? This is heavyweight boxing. But you don't want to get to level 3 as a fighter and then reach your ceiling. You know what I mean? So, from a management perspective, it's all about protecting the fighter just a little bit longer. But at the same time, though, we want to put this fighter into championship contention so that Big Baby Anderson can be a household name. And also, as we're moving him around in different venues across the world, he'll eventually become a pay-per-view attraction. You know what I mean? So, everybody, listen, you're going to get hit in boxing. You know what I mean? You're going to get hit in boxing. This is just what it is. But it's all about making sure that you protect yourself. I used to tell my son this all the time. I used to tell Lil Marty this, my son, all the time when I was training him. When I say training him, I'm talking about to box. I used to ask him every time, how many times should you protect yourself? And his response, which is what I told him to say, all times. Because my son has a problem, or he had a problem back then, with not keeping his hands up after he throw that jab. How many times should you keep your hands up? How many times should you protect yourself? All times. And so, speaking of protect yourself all times, when I'm talking about management, I'm talking about business now. Y'all know who promotes Jared Anderson. When I say this, y'all know who promotes Jared Anderson, right? Can somebody in the chat? I want to make sure we all on the same page here now, because you've heard me say this time and time again. Can somebody in the chat? I see you, Mike R. Can somebody else beside Mike tell me the name of the promotional company that represents Jared Anderson? Somebody tell me in the chat. Okay, I see you, Dahlia. Okay. All right. So Jay Prince is the manager, Blandly. Jay Prince manages Shakur Stevenson. Jay Prince manages Big Baby Jared Anderson. But there's a promotional company. There we go. I see you. Thank y'all so much. Top Rank. That is correct. Top Rank Incorporated promotes Jared Anderson. What is the significance of that? It's basically what I'm talking about from a management perspective, from a business perspective, on how to move a fighter. Remember I talked about level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4? When we talk about the gateway to championship contention for a fighter? Who's the matchmaker that I always say? I say his name very often on this channel. He's Hall of Fame matchmaker now. He works very closely for over, I want to say 30, 40 years with Bob Arum. Good man too, by the way. What's his name? He's the matchmaker over there. Y'all know his name? I say his name all the time. If you forgot, I'm going to tell you anyway. I just want to see if we can engage a little bit so you can understand my point. He's a matchmaker for Top Rank. Good guy. Good guy. Hall of Famer. He's one of the best, if not the best matchmaker in the business. He's top shelf now. I know that's right. There you go, Scotty. Scotty Dippin, thank you. I say his name often, I'm gonna say it again. Thank you. All right, Gary, thank you. Fight Threads, thank you. Brad Goodman. Brad Goodman. Oh, yes. He's top shelf now. Why am I bringing Brad Goodman name up? Why am I bringing Bob Arum and Top Rank's name up? Well, why am I bringing all this up? Talking about Jared Anderson. Because Top Rank, Bob Arum, and Brad Goodman, they have moved another fighter from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 and to level 4. And he has been undisputed in one division. He's been a world champion in another division. And he's currently a world champion in the welterweight division. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh, yes. So what I'm basically saying, I wish somebody can catch what I'm saying. Let me see if let me do it running. Let me do a test. Who am I talking about? When I talk about Top Rank, Bob Arum, Brad Goodman, having similarities to moving Jared Anderson, right? Oh, yep. King got it right. Gary, I see you got it right. Anyone else see the correlation when I talk about business? I see you out there. Anyone else? Anyone else? Decatur, Illinois is in the building. I see you. Salute, Real Spill. All right, well, I had 3 people that said it. Terrence Crawford. That is correct. Thank you, Mike. Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford. That's correct. So I'm saying from a business perspective, from a managerial perspective, if I'm the manager, I'm the promoter, if I am the matchmaker, and I see what happened to Jared Anderson last night, we're going to reevaluate his opponents moving forward. Now, he's already on level 2. I told you he's not going to fight no tomato cans. That's level 1. He did that already. Now he's on level 2. So now we have to find him, Jared Anderson, opponents now that he can be tested in the ring against, but also that he's going to win against. Basically what I'm saying is that's going to be the next focus from a business perspective of Top Rank, including Bob Arum, the matchmaker Brad Goodman, and of course Jay Prince. Because think about what happened the last time. When I mean the last time, I mean, remember when Terrence Crawford got rocked by Gamboa? The only reason why they didn't move his career faster against higher competition is because Brad Goodman, the matchmaker, Bob Arum, the promoter, they said within themselves, after being in the business for over 50 years at that point, probably 40 years at that point, if a smaller Gamboa can rock our young prospect like that, we have to start readjusting his opponents. I'm teaching you business now. Why? Because we are in the business of making sure that we secure longevity for our fighters so that they can reach world championship contention. Okay? And so if you look at the matchmaking strategies of Terrence Bud Crawford's career moving forward after that Gamboa fight, you see what I'm talking about. And I'm actually saying that I can see them strategically moving in that direction again for Jared Anderson. The great thing about Jared Anderson's position is that all of the competition that can give him problems, more problems than Charles Martin gave him, they're already at level 4. So he wouldn't have to deal with them now, like a Usyk or Deontay Wilder or Andy Ruiz or Tyson Fury. They level 4. Those guys are level 4s. World champions and or former world champions. They level 4. Jared Anderson's still on level 2. So I'm trying to give you all business perspective of how this works, strategically speaking. We have to make sure, as I always say, that longevity allows the fighter to reach their maximum earning potential so that, watch this, the promoters and the managers can not only recoup their initial investment, but to also make a profit. I'm just talking about business, y'all. And so one hand wash the other. As they say, both hands wash the face. Jared Anderson is going to be okay. He do have to make some improvements. He's still young. He's entitled to make some improvements, especially on defense. But at the same time, Jared Anderson is not a joke. This kid can fight. This young man, not kid. This young man can fight. I like Jared Anderson. This young man can fight. I just want him to set up his punches a little bit more. Jared Anderson is a southpaw, to my understanding. I think that's his natural stance. So he's already going to be a problem in the division just by being a southpaw. Second problem, second reason why he's going to be a problem in the division because he got power. This heavyweight boxing now. It only takes one punch in the sport of boxing. But when it's in the heavyweight division, that one punch ability increases significantly compared to the other lower weight classes. And so that's the whole point that I'm making on this whole Jared Anderson scenario where he got caught with a big shot and he did recover. And the bottom line is they finished the fight. Win all 10 rounds. So it was a good fight for him. Good fight for him. And speaking of Terrence Bud Crawford, let's just get it on out the way now because I ain't going to hold you along today. I'm going to get out the way now. This is the scene of the movie where Terrence Bud Crawford fans can come on and join the panel live, unscripted. That's what I love about it. It's all unscripted. It's not rehearsed. Come on in. Link is in the chat. I'm going to have to periodically put it in the chat because I do not have my iPad with me at the moment, where it helps me pin the link to the top of the chat. But bottom line is, I just flew the kite. If you are a Terrence Bud Crawford fan, I welcome you. Link is in the chat. I just flew the kite out there. I have a question or two. We need answers. And I'm sure you may have a question or two, or a comment or two, or a concern or two, and you need answers. Terrence Bud Crawford fans, I know that you are here. And one of the reasons why and how I know you're here is because you love the channel. And I appreciate your viewership and your support too, and your contribution. So come on in. Come on in. And here's the thing. If there's not a Terrence Bud Crawford fan here today, when we go back live again, I'm going to make sure I fly the kite, put the link in the chat again. You know I'm going to do the nip it in the bud segments. If you didn't hear me say this last week, I'm going to do the nip it in the bud segments, or at least I'm going to try to. If it gets too redundant and it gets stale, and I say stale meaning from the perspective of the audience, I'll stop it. But if it doesn't get stale, I'm going to try to maintain this momentum up into the week of the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight, if it happens. Okay? All right. So we ain't going to wait too long, because I noticed people, some, not all, but some Terrence Crawford fans be sitting right here listening. And then they wait, some of them, and they know they want to come up. And then somewhere down the line, they change their minds. Or they make their minds up before the broadcast even starts and say, you know what? I ain't coming on. And that's okay. It's all good. But the link is in the chat. I just flew it out there again. I just flew the kite out there again now. I flew it out there again. And so we're waiting. We're not going to hold everybody up. I told you I'm not going to be on here long today. I'm not going to hold you all long today either. And in particularly, it's still Independence Day weekend here in America. So I'm sure that you all may have plans for the weekend. You may have plans for tomorrow. You may even have plans on the actual 4th, which is Tuesday, this Tuesday. You may have plans to go back to work. We don't know. But we're live in living color today. And we're at that segment called Nip It in the Bud. So we're waiting. Terrence Bud Crawford fans, come on and check on in. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your perspective. Your perspective. Because you be in my chat live, you be in my comment section, you also be in other people's comment sections when I'm on their channel, whether I'm on their panel or particularly YSM Sports Media, when he's done countless interviews with me, you all good things about me. So we're here now. King, I'm not going to call you Asia. If you can, Mr. King, can you please show your face? I just see you in the background. Show your face so I know that we are having a human interaction. You're not a troll. So that I know I can bring you on a live broadcast. And once I bring you on a live broadcast, if you want to turn your camera off, you can. It's totally up to you when you're going to get on a live broadcast. King Asia Math, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome. I think you were on the panel before.
Yes, sir. I was
All
trying to
right.
get on yesterday, but it was late. We had a bad storm, so my internet was going in and out, and I caught you late.
Oh, it's all good. We're glad to have you now. Now, King, I don't think you are a Terrence Ball Crawford fan, though, right?
I'm a supporter. I'm not a Bud basher. I just don't see him winning this fight. And I think what the talking points or the talking caveat is just some of the Bud strong supporters, the stands. It just make it hard for the logic to seek in, and then for the normal human being such as you and I, it frustrates us. So it's almost like they forcing us on the other side of the street. May the best man win. I don't see Bud winning, and then that frustrates them, and then they come with a bunch of crazy talking points. I mean, it's just sometimes like insulting to your intellect. Like, yes, he has a puncher's chance. I be pulling up on their channels, like they pull up on yours, but they had one thing about the Earl supporters. We'll go into the Lions Den. I've been on panels where it's just me and they just bash me. So I pulled up again last night. I'm not going to say the channel name, but you know what I noticed, Manager Marty? I BS you not. Oh, they getting soft and they getting worse. Since July hit, their tone is changing. They keep saying, "Hey, y'all only got one little simple breakdown of how y'all feel Earl gonna win. He gonna go to the body. He gonna do this, that, and the third. You know what their breakdown is now? I can't
What's
make
that?
this up.
What's that?
With me and this guy, I can't remember. I'll say his name. I think his name was Dwight Anderson. We were the only two picking Bud to win. We was on a pro. I mean, picking Spence to win. We was on the pro Bud channel. They got this thing called the mystery punch. They ain't got the name of it, so we had to give it the mystery punch. It's gonna come from out of nowhere, hit EJ, and knock him out. That's it. They think he's gonna dance around for like 9, 10, 11 rounds, and then that punch just gonna come from some dimension not known to man, and it's gonna knock EJ out. And I say, well, leading up to that point, is Spence just gonna be standing there or he gonna be putting water in the tank? Which I know he is. And when he start putting water, EJ that is, start putting water in the tank, it's gonna have a resounding effect on Bud. Bud's not gonna take 10 rounds of that punishment, just waiting on this mystery punch to land and knock EJ out. Me and Dwight say the first solid combo EJ lands on Bud is gonna be downhill from there. And it goes back to the points you were making with the way uh top rank matched Bud up. They didn't prepare him for this fight, a fight of this magnitude, a fight for the caliber of competition he's going to be facing on July 29th. He's not. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Bud and EJ done sparred before. And I'm quite sure it's going to be the same results of that spar. It was years ago, but the difference between then and now is EJ took the hard road. I won't say it's the hard road, but the road he should have took. He went cross seas to get his titles. He's been consistent at welterweight. Got the WBA, the IBF, WBC. Now you just need that one last strap that Bud been holding hostage. And Bud haven't been defending that WBO belt with top caliber competition. They're saying, hey, this side of the street. Which I got to bring this joke to you, Manager Marty. Why did the duck cross the road?
Tell me now.
To get knocked out by EJ. But yeah, the Bud fans' their tone has really changed. I think reality is sinking in. It's getting closer. It's inevitable. As you see, they coming up with the excuses. Oh, he's gonna get robbed and all that. It's not going that far for him to get robbed. And if it is, it's just gonna be the mercy rule of EJ of pretty much what he did with Mikey Garcia. Okay, Bud, go into survival mode, and I'm still gonna punish you. But if you don't want to go down, no problem. No problem. You can survive. You know, we'll give you that. But you ain't gonna want this rematch because your body ain't gonna be healthy enough 6 months from now. For the rest of 2023, you're gonna be on medical assistance. You're gonna be getting your ribs together, your eye together, and all that. So that's my prediction. But the Bud fans are being a little more tame now. I think they probably won't come on your channel with the bravado that they've been having. No, they're a little too fearful of that. You done scared them, Manager Martin. you, you,
Now you
you
said I
done
scared. Now, King. Now you say I scared Crawford fans. How did I scare them?
with the truth. The truth hurts. The truth hurts like the body blows, like the eye catcher. It hurts them. It's their kryptonite. The truth is their kryptonite. When they're in their realm, they will argue back at you. They're bravado. That they gang up on you, and they're jumping. Yeah. You better not come around here talking that EJ, you Earl sexual and all that. No, they can't come here with that because you're gonna slaughter 'em with the truth, with the logic, with the real. That's their kryptonite. So that's why I use the word scared. They're fearful of that.
Got you. So I had a question, and I won't hold you too long. So I heard you say that Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford they sparred before a few years ago. I've heard that several times previous to today by different sources. I don't know if that's true or not, but now I just heard you say it. Is that true, or that's just a rumor that somebody kind of made up?
Well, I wasn't there, so that's the only thing they could. That's like the mystery punch. I wasn't there, but these sources are very, very credible. Uh, I'd give one name, Sugar Shane Mosley. He said he was there in the ring, just like you heard the sparring sessions with Mayweather and EJ, and people were there, very credible sources there. It's of the same caliber, of the same caliber. And I think
Yeah, I
they
did.
go ahead.
I'm listening to you.
I think they kept it hush hush because it could have deterred the intrigueness of the fight because it is some intrigue there. Bud is on a knockout streak and all that, and then the delusional fan supports that. Well, they were professionals and all that. They were champions. They were undefeated and all that. Still, the eye test shows these were CB class fighters. They didn't belong in the ring with Bud. And well, I'm not even gonna say that because in some of those fights Bud had to rise to the occasion. He did show another level. I'm not gonna say those fighters didn't belong in the ring with him because he did have to overcome some adversity in some of those fights. So credit to Bud for doing that and finishing those guys. Well, Sean Porter, no, that was they want to call that a KO. No, we went at it last night with that, but then they conceded when I was on the other channel. That was not a KO. That was Kenny Porter doing some fugazi stuff. And then a couple other ones. American, he just couldn't finish or whatever. Bud was winning the fight, but still, I wouldn't say that was a KO. You know, but Bud has looked impressive against competition. He was supposed to look impressive for. He wasn't fighting the Ugases professionally. He wasn't fighting the Danny Garcias. He wasn't fighting the Keith Thurmans. And then he fought uh, a preparing to retire Sean Porter. And they go, well, you didn't know he was about to retire. Sean Porter knew he was about to retire. That's the only thing that matters. They argue that you didn't know, you didn't know, you didn't know. He knew. That's the only person that matters. He knew he was about to retire. So he was a wash. He fought a washed up Sean Porter mentally. That is that didn't want to train. Go in, just say, hey, I'm gonna give Bud this fight so he can have me on this resume, and then sell on off to the sunset. But if they want credit, yeah, they want credit for that. They get it. Yeah, he beat Porter better than Spence. Spence couldn't get him up out of there. and all that. Spence just want to punish you. That's it. If you lay down, you lay down. If you're gonna take the punishment, take the punishment. Either or. He just wants to punish you and get the victory. That's it. But go ahead. You was about to ask him.
Yeah. No, I was going to echo the same thing that you said about Sugar Shane Mosley. I saw that interview as well, where Sugar Shane Mosley said that he was present. He was there when Spence and Crawford was sparring.
Okay, that's all right. Do you feel he was lying?
No,
As I
Sugar,
don't either.
yeah, Sugar Shane Mosley is a very reliable source. Sugar Shane Mosley always been a stand-up guy in the business. The only asterisk I would say about Sugar Shane, as far as credibility, is when he was in a deposition, um, where he had to admit that he knowingly used, um, PEDs. You know what I mean? Of course, rolling with Victor Conte,
Right.
ironically the same guy that Terrence Crawford is working with now.
Yeah.
Of course, Victor Conte is on an up and up now, I believe, with his snack program. He's done his time in jail, being incarcerated. To my understanding, he changed his life around, and he's using all of his knowledge, of enhancing your performance in a legal way, in a secure way, in a safe way for the fighters these days. But back then, he was not the way he is now, and he was making a lot of money from not just Sugar Shane Mosley, but other athletes in other sports, baseball included. Um, and so that's the only aspect I would say that's next to the name of Sugar Shane Mosley when we talk about credibility. But other than that, he's been an up and up stand up guy from all accounts overall. So I definitely do take Sugar Shane Mosley's word for being in the presence of Crawford and Spence actually sparring.
Well, he said Bomac was there. That's probably why Bomac is speaking in the cadence that he's speaking now with a lot of nervous energy. Oh my God, this dude has not changed since that sparring session. Well, he probably knew it wasn't going to change. It's just a build up. And poor Top Rank, they're not going to reap the benefits of this fight. They built Bud up to this point to get to this point. You know, I won't say a bunch of smoke and mirrors, but in the sense of the competition level, it is smoke and mirrors, and that's not a knock to Bud's skill set. I just don't see him and gain the necessary experience and the necessary competition it would take to beat Spence. He should have kept going to them sparring sessions like the Charlos. They, when they want to dog Charlo now, because Charlo and Bud had some back and forth words. Yeah, Spence in there beating you up in the sparring sessions. Yeah, you beating your guy up too. But at least Charlo staying in it. Now he got a shot at Canelo, and he's prepared for Canelo. It's going up 2 weight classes, but I still give Charlo a better shot than I give Bud to beating Spence. Actually, I go on the record saying I got Charlo beating Canelo. You gotta go on with it. You gotta execute a rate game plan. But Bud doesn't get a high probability or a high percentage that I would give Charlo to beat Canelo to beat EJ. No, Bud gonna really need that mystery punch. I don't know where it's gonna come from, but he's gonna need it, and he's gonna have to land it real quick. We're talking about before the fifth round, way before the fifth round. Anything beyond that, he's gonna be broke. That's my prediction. Still there, Marty?
Totally agree. Can you hear me, King?
Yeah, yeah, you had dipped out. I guess you were switching up, changing things. I'm on my phone, but I'm watching you on my TV as well.
Okay, got you, got you. Man, Great assessment, man. And you already told me who you got winning this fight, so I don't have to ask you that. Um, man, I mean, we shall see. Um, Everything that you said made a lot of sense today. And well, let me not say that. Everything you said that came from your own mouth with your own words made a lot of sense today. That other mystery punch, that don't make no sense to me, brother.
No, well they had to put a title on it. So and don't those are their words. That's me regurgitating their words. You know, I could pull up the clip. We were just on the panel yesterday watching the fights on the live fight. So I said, let me go into the Lions Den. They treated me real bad the last time I went there. I mean, it was just crazy. So I had to leave. So I said, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna give them another chance. So it was more respectful, and it was a lot of, not a lot, but some EJ supporters there. So, and then I think, like I say, soon as July hit, they was like, oh, reality is here. You know, you remember the kid in the classroom that used to talk tough till the I don't know what time you was getting out of school at that time. Sometimes it was 2:15, sometimes 3:15. He's just talking tough. And then when it started getting close close to letting out, he quiet, got his head down, trying to go to the bathroom, leave early. Yeah, yeah, reality is about to strike. I heard all the shit you was talking. And I'm gonna see you at 2:15, 3:15, whatever time we let out. You got to answer to that. That's how the Bud fans are feeling right now. Yesterday marked the first day of National Crawfish Boil Month. We are in it. Get your crawfish, get ready to get boiled. See, they ain't talking that frying fish stuff no more. But great
Yeah.
show, Marty. Great show you had yesterday. I'm bad. You went 5 hours strong, man.
No, it
Great.
was about four. Yeah, we did like four. And all this stuff is unscripted, man. So I try to make sure I respect the people's time and not be on too long. But when you have a panel that be so interesting and the chat is engaging, and then you have a lot of interaction on the panel, it's hard to be like, all right, y'all, I'm about to get off. It's really hard when the audience have their attention here, when I see the viewership increasing, when I see that people are contributing to the channel, that and everybody's attentive. It's hard for me to say, all right, y'all, I'm gonna break this up. I'll see y'all another time. So sometimes I just let it go on and on so that everybody can get what they came here for. And two things that I know, at least one of the two things, if not both things that people come here for, is either entertainment or education or a combination of both. So I make sure every time I go live, I try to go 100% and give everybody what they want.
Right. And that's what you signed up for. You know, you put the purpose before the profit. So yeah, it's growing your channel. You know, so if this is what you signed up for, hey, it's gonna be days like that. But I understand you probably have, other obligations. I get that. We all do. But yeah, sometimes it's gonna be like that. You might end up having a 10-hour marathon one day.
Woo! Oh, damn, 10 hours.
Hey man,
Hey,
when like you say, when the audience engage and
yeah,
people coming in respectfully and
yeah,
they're contributing education and they're contributing entertainment. Hey,
yeah,
next thing you know, your channel is big as Joe Rogan's.
yeah. That's true. That is true. That is true, man. I appreciate your time, Mr. King.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so
Yes, sir.
much, man. And I look forward to seeing you jump on a panel more. And your feedback is always appreciated. Your viewership absolutely appreciated. And I will definitely, 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 definitely make sure I start asking the question, and I know Crawford fans are watching now, and if they're not, they're gonna watch the replay of this about that mystery punch because I want to hear myself. What do they mean by that mystery punch? I'm even
Well,
intrigued by it now.
yeah, what I will do is get the audio from it from last night. I hope he ain't deleted it. So at least you'll have the audio. I know you can't show, what the live stream was, but the audio. But I think that's what their whole it just declined to that. That's their breakdown of the fight.
Got you. And I'll even encourage you to do this. You can email me the audio, or if you want to email me uh the source
Oh
of the
yeah, oh I
audio.
could send it. Yeah, I could easily send you the link and you could go
Okay.
look at it. Yeah, that'll
Oh,
be too easy right there.
yeah. Yep. You can, matter of fact, if you email me that today, I will
All right.
definitely do my due diligence later on today because I want to hear it. I'm
Right.
intrigued by this mystery punch myself.
Oh, it's gonna be good comedy, man. I mean, and it's not to make a mockery of anyone. You know, their perspective is their perspective, but it's just the irony of it. You know, I never tried to. I never say Spence gonna get in there and his feet. Is it? No, he's gonna attack the body, and then Bud gonna go to the high guard, and he's gonna break the body down, and then the guard gonna come down, and he might take an eye with them ribs. That's it. It's not enough. It's not AP calculus. No, but they let's go back 2 months ago. Oh, well, Bud gonna do this, and when he do that, he gonna switch to this, and then when he do that, he gonna do. Now it's just a, it's just a mystery punch. And now I'm like, gosh, what happened to all the other stuff? What happened to all them tools in the toolbox? They at the pawn shop? What? Or as you say, they done nipped it in the bud. But I ain't gonna hold you up, man. Let me find that link so I can email it to you, and you could go
My,
back and watch us.
I
Uh,
certainly will do that. Thank you again, Mr. King. I appreciate your viewership and joining the panel, my brother.
yes, sir. And there's no problem saying King Asia, man. Yes, this is a friend, a female friend of mine account because she has my account, I have her account. But it's no problem saying King Asia, man. But you can just say King if you just want to say King. I do
That,
not take offense to it.
you got it, my brother.
All right, peace out.
All right, peace out, my brother. Well, y'all heard him. He's going to send me the audio or the link. I just want to know what they mean because here's the thing. They might be talking about a punch or a combination of punches that do have a professional technical name to it. And they just calling it mystery punch. You know what I mean? I just want to know because that might be a good strategy for Crawford. Maybe they're saying he's going to hit him with a cross after the jab, but they call the cross mystery punch. I don't know. That's why I want to hear it myself. Make sure that you know that they include that in the game plan of Crawford winning this fight. I mean, because like Mr. King said, like I always say, everybody had their own perspective, and nobody should be criticized for having their own opinion or perspective. So if Spence win, everybody's going to celebrate it. The people that chose Spence to win, but I don't think people that thought Crawford should win if he loses. I don't think they should be criticized as equally as I don't think people that think Spence going to win should be criticized if he lose and Crawford wins because we're all entitled to our own opinion, our own perspectives, and the way that we think this fight's going to unfold. In my case, if this fight actually happens. And as you all know, I've already said this before that this fight will prove that it's going to happen to me on Friday, the night before the weigh-in. Excuse me, the night before the fight actually happens. I'm still standing on that. That's when I'll actually believe that this fight will happen between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford when they step off of the scales on July the 28th. That's when I'll believe the fight's going to happen. But for the sake of entertainment, for the sake of education, for the sake of viewership, I'm going to continue to say that the fight's going to happen for your listening pleasure. But everybody know I'm standing on what I said before, and I do hope the fight happen. I'm not saying it ain't going to happen. I actually wish it does happen, and can't wait for it to happen. So that's just my take on it. With that being said, I always try to make sure I incorporate this segment called Ask Manager Marty in my live broadcast. Um, I do it periodically. It's not every podcast or every broadcast of a podcast thing, but this portion of the segment does have an educational connotation to it, where Um, you all, the viewers, can ask Manager Marty any boxing related question, and I will provide you with an answer. The caveat to it is this: in exchange for your in exchange for my knowledge of telling you what you need to know about the sport and or the business of boxing based on your boxing related question, I will accept a super thanks, super chat, super sticker from you to continue to support the channel and the Cash App too, and Cash App as well. To continue to support the channel so this channel can grow and the content can reverberate all across the world so that everyone else can experience the same uh, entertainment and education that you are receiving live and in living color. So, this is the segment called Ask Manager Marty. You can ask me any boxing related question, and I promise you, I will get you the answer live. If I don't know the answer, though, I'm not fake. I'm not going to act like I know something that I do not know. I will definitely say, hey, I don't know the answer to that question. But I will conduct research for you, do my due diligence, and make sure you get the answer. But for the most part, you'll basically get your answer now. So, this is the segment called Ask Manager Marty, and I am here to answer any boxing related questions that you may have. So, clock starts now. It's on you. Ask Manager Marty. Y'all still there? If you don't have a question, that's cool. If you don't have a question, it's all good. If you do, I'm here. Guess there's no questions right now. It's all good. Here's the thing. It's 12 o'clock. We made it. 12 o'clock. Well, Eastern Standard Time for me. Probably a different time for you all. Some of you anyway. So here's the great thing, right? The great thing about it is this. We love the sport of boxing. We're anticipating this fight between Crawford and Spence. We're going to continue to talk about it until it happens. And I think after it happens, we're going to talk about the results after it happens. Then, of course, there's a rematch clause. So we got to talk about that as well later on down the line. Win, lose, or draw, whoever. But the great thing about it is this. It's all about coming together. And y'all heard that too. If you didn't hear that, that was a Cash App. That's going to stop everything I had to say because what I had to say wasn't really that important. But someone has a question for me in the Cash App, and I want to make sure I answer it. Okay, so testing 1 2 1 2. We back. All right, I got it. So thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel, Mr. Darrell Smith. Your question is: will the press conference, media workouts, weigh-in be public? I'm trying to find out so I will know how to get my fight. Thanks in advance. Well, I will tell you this, Darrell, that the press conference definitely will be public. It has already been public at least twice. The weigh-in, of course, will be public. Usually happens the night before the fight. Officially, let me say that because there's an unofficial weigh-in too, but the official weigh-in for this fight will happen publicly, usually the night before the fight. When it comes to media workouts, I would naturally assume, based on the standard of business practices, especially of a fight of this magnitude, that there will be media workouts that will be public or at least accessible to the media, which we'll be able to see it if they publish and when they publish their content of it. So that's what I will tell you, Mr. Darrell, that it will mostly everything will definitely be public. Absolutely. Especially the week of the fight. Ain't no question about that. Press conference, of course, has already happened at least twice, one in New York, one in LA. And I think they have a few more press conferences that they're going to have as the time progresses. Um, but I hope that answered your question. And if you're trying to book a flight accordingly, Mr. Smith, I would also encourage you to book the flight as soon as humanly possible because the quicker this date approaches, the less opportunity you will have to have availability for these flights. It's the summertime. It's already vacation season. Most of the airlines has already increased their pricing just off the bat, and plus, it's for a major fight in a major city, which is Las Vegas. So I recommend if you're going to book your flight accordingly, definitely do that quickly as you can. And you said you're booking in the next couple of days. Awesome. Awesome. Really glad to hear that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Tape film crew, I hope there's at least one thing that you have learned about the business and the sport of boxing, particularly when I broke down some of the things that should happen moving forward in the career of Jared Big Baby Miller. And hopefully, next time I see you all, which I will let you know when that is. You already know, guaranteed Saturday morning, I will make sure I'm here live again. 10 o'clock a.m. Hopefully, we'll have a Terrence Bud Crawford fan, or two, or three, or four, that basically will become available for the live broadcast. You do know that next Saturday, let me reiterate it, next Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, you will be reminded, of course, through my posts. I will be here live again. Now, I'm going to try to come back before that, one day before this upcoming week. One day, this upcoming week, I'm going to try to go live again before Saturday if I can. If I can't, definitely guarantee, God willing, Saturday morning, I will be right here live and in living color. And also, I have to say this because this is as equally as important. I want you all to enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your holiday. For those of you that celebrate the holiday, um, thank you for your viewership today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. We rocked out for an hour and a half today. Usually on Sundays, I'll be like more laid back, chilling, just like I think you are as well. We had a good show tonight. A little chill, as we say in Philly. A little chill, John. A little, chill, John. John was chill. I appreciate you all again. I will check in with you all to let you know in advance if I am going to publish something earlier this week, live when I say something. Um, but definitely Saturday morning of next weekend. And also, let me tell you this, published content will be available starting this afternoon all the way this week. So just because I'm not on here live does not mean I'm not going to continue to publish content. All right? I'm doing way too much talking. I'm Manager Marty. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.